Carousels are a really great way to sell. Don't be afraid to schedule your content if you can't. Why DM automation is important, who should use it, what you can do with it, and how it's increased my engagement and my revenue. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Call Her Creator, powered by Stan. I'm Caitlin Rhodes, also known as Social Marketing Queen over on Instagram. And today we are going to talk about all of the updates, all of the new features that are going on over on Instagram. So, reading to my notes, we're going to be talking about carousel updates. You're going to want to hear this one because it could definitely help increase your engagement. The Reels editor, there's a brand new update inside of the editing app on Instagram that's causing a huge buzz. There are some updates with Instagram notes. They got a little makeover that could help you connect better with your followers, and we have so much more in store for you. Y'all know I love me some Instagram updates because when you hop on them early, Instagram tends to push your account out because they want others hopping on those trends. So once y'all listen to this episode, you hear all of the new features coming out, try to pick and choose like one or two that you want to try this week and just see if that maybe helps give your profile a little boost. We'll see. All right, so the very best way to show support to me and my podcast is to download the episode. So download, leave me a review. Those are the two ways to my heart when it comes to Call Her Creators. So it would mean so much to me if you would literally pause the show right now, go download the episode, go leave me a 5-star review, tell me what you think about the podcast, and you'll just make this little girl's day. I'll be so excited. Speaking of reviews, just read one last night. It really made me a little giddy inside. So it said, Cliff Notes for social media. Caitlin gives concise and timely info that I can access quickly and apply immediately. And that is really, truly my goal here. I used to get a lot of, I still do. I used to get a lot of DMs of people just asking me random questions about monetizing their Instagram or growing their Instagram account. And now I'm literally just spilling it all out for you guys for free on this podcast. So if this is your first time listening, I would encourage you to go back through some of the episodes that I have. There's a lot that focus on Instagram growth. I also tell my story about how I grew my first 1,000 followers. Then you'll learn about, growing 10,000 followers and how I started making money from all of this and what my story looked like. So if you've got some time today, go listen back to one of those other episodes too after you get done listening to this one. So usually I give you guys a social media update before I get into the actual episode, but since this episode is all about the updates, we're just going to get right into the juice this week. There are so many updates and features that have happened in the last month that I'm going to make sure that I stick to the most important ones so that we don't get lost in the noise, but we'll also talk about the recent ones too. I'm not going to tell you guys an update that happened back in January that I think is important. If you're looking for older updates, you can always go to social media today. That's where I usually get some of my update information. But for today, we're going to talk about the most recent updates and how you can utilize them into your Instagram growth strategy. So let's just get right into it. So the first update I want to talk about today is my favorite kind of update, and it has to do with Instagram Reels. Those are always so fun. That's how I grew my account. Truly, I have an episode on this, but there was a time when I was posting static images, carousels, Reels, but I just really fell in love with video marketing and creating Reels. So anything Reels related really makes me excited. So the other day I was posting my Reels for the week. Now, just a little insight here. I schedule a part of my content and then I post content on the fly as well. It's definitely a 50-50%. Now, note, I own a social media agency, so I have social media managers at my fingertips. So Darby and Gracie help me out when it comes to scheduling. So Darby will kind of go through my last Reels that I've posted and see like what were the top performers. And then she'll maybe create new Reels or she'll create Reels from my repurposed content and she'll schedule those out for me like 5 times a week. Very nice. And then I'll go in there and I'll post on top of that. Now we do make sure we space those postings out so they're not being posted at the same time. But just know, like, the big dogs that you see there on Instagram, more than likely they've maybe got some help with their content or they're scheduling out. So don't be afraid to schedule your content if you can't posting in real time. So back to the reel. So I took a poll on this actually the other day to see if anyone else had this update yet, and it was kind of 50-50. So I'm hoping that they end up rolling this out for everyone because it is a really big update in my opinion. So first off, it's the Reels editor. When you get inside of your Reels editor and you're about to start writing your hook or you're using the text overlay tool, there is a ton of new features inside of there. So one is that they have brand new fonts. Thank the Lord, hallelujah, they are giving us way more options for fonts. There was a new cursive font called Signature. There was a poster font that was a little more modern, trendy looking. Then there was like a bubble font, exactly what it says, it's bubbly. But at the end of the day, I counted all the new fonts and there's 14 new fonts that you can use on your Instagram videos, on your reels. And they're really fun to look at and they really like level up that branding. So if you are a business or a brand and you're trying to stick to your brand kit or just your brand guidelines, you can probably go in there and find a font that's close to what you post on your other marketing material because there's so many to choose from now. Then they've got new animations, which is kind of similar if you've ever edited a reel over in Canva and you can see where you can like animate the text. It's kind of like that. So they have 3 new animations that I noticed. I bet you that they'll end up extending this, making more of them. But right now there's the typewriter animation. So when you write your hook, like say we said something like top 3 tips for viral reels, it would type it out real slowly. Or there's the pop. So you'd start the reel and it pops open, top 3 reels, tips to go viral. And then there's also the jump, which was kind of like you wrote out the text and then it kind of jumps over the screen. So those 3 animations, obviously you don't want to get too busy with it because I do think it could turn people off if they're like trying to read what you're saying and listening to you and it's just too messy. So maybe pick like one new feature to play with first and slowly bring in the other features because there's also another one. There's the fonts, there's the animation, and then there's like a design edit too where you can basically add like a sparkle or a neon to your text. So what I'm trying to say is like maybe don't use all of the new features all at once on your first reel, but sprinkle them in slowly. Like maybe you first want to start out with just like the sparkle design and putting that on your usual reels for now. And then the next time you try out the typewriter animation and then the next time you try out a new font. And then after that, once you're comfortable, once your audience has seen it, then you could kind of get jiggy with it and maybe pair 2 of those. For me, the last reel that I posted, I think I played around with the pop animation and then the sparkle. So it was really cool to see how it all came together. I do feel like it kind of popped out from the main feed because not everyone has those animations. So it was something different to look at. So I really like all of these updates in the Reels editor. I really think that you guys should check them out, look for them. Let me know if you have them. Send me a DM over on Instagram, Social Marketing Queen, or Call Her Creator. I'm there on both accounts. Let me know if you have it. Send me a screenshot. Some people, like I said, don't have this feature yet. So I'm kind of just trying to understand how many of us have it right now. If it's just a test or if it just hasn't gone out for everybody, we'll kind of see. But I hope it comes out for everybody because I think it's a really fun way to edit your reels and make them more engaging. And then there was another, like, not so much an update, but Adam Mosseri, I heard his last name the other day from someone else and they said it completely different than I do. So we're just going to say Adam, the CEO of Instagram. He actually added some insight, I guess, to the longer reels. So remember a few episodes back, I told you guys, I also posted this as a reel on Social Marketing Queen. There had been like a creator meetup in New York and they were talking about reels and they explicitly stated that reels over 90 seconds could hurt your reach. Now, this was a big deal for a lot of people. There was comments on there like, why would they have it then if it hurts your reach? This is not true, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, there's more insight on this. So what I have read, I have some notes here so that I am very accurate with all this stuff. According to Social Media Today, a few weeks back, Instagram noted that posting reels longer than 90 seconds can hurt your reach, effectively warning against posting long reels, even though you technically can. But there are cases, says IG, where people will still want to post those longer videos for their audience, which is why we allow users to post longer clips. So to clarify, Instagram has explained that for creators who want to be surfaced to people who don't follow them in places like the Reels tab, we think it's important that they understand that we won't recommend Reels that are over 90 seconds long. However, we've talked to a lot of creators who enjoy sharing longer content, even though it won't be surfaced in recommendations. So, to clarify that even more, posting Reels longer than 90 seconds will reduce your opportunities for expanded exposure, but they can still, you can still post a longer reel in order to enhance engagement with your current audience. So this kind of makes sense. Let's just say that you wanted to post a longer reel, but it was like a tutorial reel. So it was probably for people that are already following you. They kind of already know what you are known for, whatever service you're in or product you have. They're going to want to watch a 90-second reel from you because they know you, they've heard of you, and you're probably giving better insight into what it is that they follow you for. Whereas like a new person who's never heard of you before, if you've got this 90-second reel going on, their attention span just to get them as a new follower might not happen. So that's basically what Instagram's saying. They're saying that, yes, 90-second reels, we're probably not going to push you out to new people into recommendations because it's just a little long, but we don't discourage you to post it altogether because there is an audience that you might have that actually still wants to engage with those types of reels. So don't all the way just be like, ooh, I can never post a 90-second reel ever in my life, because at the end of the day, you actually could if you wanted to be a little bit more detailed with something that you're explaining. Like, you don't have to just do 7-second reels all the time. If you want to put an explainer video out there, you go for it. That's basically what Instagram is trying to say. And then another update I read about was in regards to carousels. So carousels now offer the chance to put music on them. Now, I like this update because I feel like static posts, which are just one image, they were kind of sort of dying in a way. Like, people would post a picture and it wouldn't get much engagement as, say, a carousel or a reel. Two reasons why. Obviously, people are consuming more video marketing, so the reels were performing good. People are consuming carousels better because they're spending more time on them scrolling through. Now, the thing with the static, it's just one photo, so people look at it real quick and keep scrolling. But when there's music attached to it, kind of grabs their attention, makes them stay a little longer. So I do believe that this new update, adding music to your carousels, can help even more. I think that I want to plug in Club Influence for a minute, because this is the Instagram marketing membership that I have at Influence Marketing Studio, where we give you templates, carousel templates in particular. We give Reels templates, static templates, but carousels are really big for us. We give them to our clients on a bi-weekly basis because I still think that carousels have a place on Instagram. They're a really great way to explain a little more detail about a certain subject, because Reels at this point have just gotten so short that you truly just have like your hook and maybe a little bit of text to really get an idea across, whereas carousels, images to use. A carousel, you're allowed to post up to 10 images when you do a carousel. So if you're not good at graphic design, if you've never posted carousels before, you could totally join Club Influence and let us provide those carousel templates for you. We are very big on what's trending at the time, so we want to capitalize on those trendy, engaging carousels. So that's something for you guys to look at. I will put a link in the podcast description for you guys to check that out if you want more information on that. But I still think that carousels are a really great way to sell. They offer more space. They offer more time for you to really explain a subject better than maybe a 7-second reel could. They're testing a way right now for people to actually upload images as a carousel, and then you be able to edit it like you do a reel, like with the text. So again, if you're not into graphic design, if you don't want to sign up for Club Influence, totally cool. You might be able to just start writing text right on top of your image right within the Instagram app. So they're testing it. It's not for sure out all the way for everyone, but that's another little update that happened too. Now, going from carousels to notes, Instagram notes aren't really my favorite feature on the app. They're just kind of weird to me, but I do use them. If I post like a really good reel that I think everyone should go watch, I will use my notes to be like, hey, algorithm update on my latest reel or something like that, and people can go look at it. But there is an update now for videos on your notes. So you used to only really be able to put a picture there, but now you can actually put videos to kind of grab people's attention even more. I know that when I'm over in the DMs, that's typically when I see those little notes. They do catch my eye, and I do look at them and read them. And if something is interesting to me, I'll click it and go to that person's profile. So don't sleep on them. But they're just, I don't know, they're just kind of weird. They're just there, but I guess Instagram's trying to push them. So if this would probably be one of the easiest updates for you to go hop on, is go to the little notes and upload a video. You can also, there's a little Easter egg. What it said is, get a special surprise when you wish your friend a happy birthday in notes. So if you go to notes and you write a happy birthday message, something appears when you type happy birthday and you mention a friend with birthday related words. So if anybody's got a birthday this week that you know of, just go test it over in the notes and see what happens for you. It sounds like it's a fun little surprise that you get. Engagement update is the next one that I want to talk about. Instagram is experimenting with chat widgets to prompt more engagement. So according to Social Media Today, there was an update linked by famous app researcher Alessandro Paluzzi. I love following him. He always posts screenshots of new updates that he's finding on the app. He's a researcher. He's an app researcher. So Instagram's testing out another way to fuel more engagement in the DMs, this time by chat widgets, which would enable you to add additional tools and indicators into your chat flow, so into the DMs. So the current chat widgets listed in development, not in public testing as yet, they're just developing them. One is a countdown widget, so you can create a countdown in the chat. Then there was a time zone widget, display the local time of each chat participant, which I think is kind of but whatever. Pinned content widget, love that, quickly access pinned content. Now, I can see how some of these would play a good part in driving more engagement. For example, maybe that one where you can add a timer. So imagine if maybe you wanted to offer some kind of offer to them and then you put the timer attached to it to accept it. So they know like, hey, we're giving you 50% off, but you only have 30 minutes to accept this. And then you use the little timer widget. I think that's a really cool way to use it, not only for engagement, but to sell more things. So that's my 2 cents when it comes to those little widgets in your chat. I know I've said this before in other episodes, but if you're new here, Instagram is pushing accounts that talk in the DMs. They want more engagement in the DMs, so they want you to be using direct messages. So if there's a way for you to get in there, to use it more, to talk with your followers more, they do that because Instagram is pushing for you to do that. And that's why I use DM automation through ManyChat. I think I'm going to do a podcast episode on this because there's been a lot of people asking me about DM automation and it's just so hard to explain in a comment on Instagram. So I'll dedicate a future episode to that so we can talk about why DM automation is important, who should use it, what you can do with it, and how it's increased my engagement and my revenue. Basically, at the end of the day, I've gotten more sales from it because someone's there in the chats automating it for me. The next update we have is Instagram Lives. They're now offering it for your close friends. Now, I love this update because what you can do here is you can do an Instagram Live and only invite people that are in your close friends list. You can also, maybe you have a co-host or you join someone else's live stream. You can still keep it as close friends, so only your close friends will see it, plus those people and their close friends. So let's just say like maybe you're a business owner and you want to monetize on your Instagram followers a little bit better. You could totally tell them like to sign up for your close friends list and they could pay you like this little premium amount each month. And then with that, you're able to go live like on a weekly basis, maybe twice a week, and do maybe tutorials, live trainings, behind the scenes. Maybe you give them early access to new products or services that you're offering, whatever it is. I think that this Instagram Lives for close friends could be a really good idea. I think I'm personally going to start pushing this maybe in August. I've got my kids home for the summer. One of mine goes to daycare, but I feel really guilty with my other school-age child being home and her at daycare, so I pick her up as early as I can. So the summer's been a little crazy for me, but I'm thinking once the kids get back in school, I'm going to lean in more to posting live videos and utilizing the close friends feature. I think at this time and day on Instagram, community is so huge right now and relationships are even huger. And I think that's really what makes you a successful creator, more successful business owner, is really like cultivating those relationships. So my goal is to really lean into that a little bit harder sometime in August. So when I start doing that, I'll try to strategize how you guys can do that too. And then the last update I have for us is Instagram has announced some updates to its broadcast channels for creators. So I was using broadcast channels and then I kind of stopped because I was overloaded and I had too much going on and it wasn't good for my mental space, but I'm still on a bunch of broadcast channels from other people. So they're good to utilize to cultivate those relationships that I was talking about. Broadcast channels are great for that. Broadcast channels is available to all creators with over 10,000 followers. So it's not a widely available option as such, but if you are in that category, channels provides a simple means to maintain more direct connection with your biggest fans. Now, a little note here, I got this information from Instagram. Hold on a second. Yeah, this was published on June 5th. What's weird to me is this was published on June 5th, which was only a few weeks ago, but I know that when broadcast channels first came out, we had one for Influence Marketing Studio and we only have 3,300 followers over there. So I don't know if that's just if you're a creator channel. Maybe that's not counting business channels. I will find out about that because I'm not sure about you having to have 10,000 followers. Maybe the rules have changed or maybe it's just for creator accounts. So I'll find out because I know Influence is a business account. So I'll find out and report back to you guys. But anyways, with broadcast channels, I do think they're a really good way to cultivate a good audience that is going to really lean into your expertise and maybe drive better engagements with you because it's kind of like a one-way conversation. You post and they just get to read what you say. So a couple updates in there. First off, you can now run IG live broadcasts in your broadcast channel. So again, this kind of goes back to that little marketing tip I had where I said, hey, maybe ask people to pay a premium to join your close friends, and then you can do exclusive trainings for them or tutorials through Instagram Lives. But this might be a way for you to do that too through broadcast channels. If people join your broadcast, that could be a way to get them into your broadcast. Maybe they don't pay you money, but hey, if you join my broadcast channel, I do one monthly broadcast live just for you guys. It's an exclusive training on XYZ and whatever their pain points are. So for me, example, that would be like, hey, join my broadcast channel. I will invite you to my Instagram growth tutorials that only you guys get to see. So I think that's an incentive to grow that account. And the cool thing with broadcast channels is when you post in there, they get alerted in the DMs. So it's a really good way to connect with your audience. And then Instagram said that they're also adding custom themes for broadcast channels, enabling you to add any picture you want as the background for your chat. Pretty cool personalization there. And then channel owners can now also choose which emojis their community can and can't react with in the chat. I think that's kind of cool. Maybe you pick and choose different emojis that make sense to you and your brand. And then they also are adding QR codes that connect people back to your channel. So that'll provide another way for you to promote your update stream, which could help you grow your Instagram community. Now, Social Media Today says broadcast channels has been a successful addition for the app, providing another way for creators to lean into the broader shift towards more private messaging. I told y'all Instagram wants more private messaging, which is where more Instagram users are now engaging. Just told you that. As opposed to posting stories to their main feed, channels gives popular creators another way to stay front of mind and keep their fans engaged in the app. So those are a couple of the updates I have for you guys this week. I'm trying to think if there was any more that didn't make my list, but I've been thinking about, but no. One thing I haven't ever really talked about, but it's out there, is you don't necessarily have to scroll anymore for trending audio. It used to be that you would have to go to the Explore feed or just maybe watch the Reels tab and look for that trending audio. But now when I go to post a Reel, if I don't have any audio connected to it yet, if I click on music and just kind of scroll through the music library, it will show me if it's trending, and then it will show me how many people have used that trend. So that's a pretty cool update that they've brought to us too, and I utilize it. So maybe that's something to look at too if you're posting Reels a lot and you want to keep up with the trending audio. All right, so that is the end of today's episode. I do want to let you guys know I've got a cool list of guests coming to the podcast this summer. We're going to be talking about Instagram growth. There is one amazing person that I get to bring on. She has been growing her brand's account and she's almost at 10,000 followers. And I just know how hard it is to grow a business account or a brand account. So I'm really excited to interview her and talk about her growth tactics, what she does for engagement, how she comes up with her content, what content works best for her. So that's going to be on our radar soon. And then I also have another couple that is a pretty huge creator over on Instagram. I'm really excited to bring them on the podcast too, because I just love working with other Instagram gurus because we can bring you guys stuff that social media today doesn't have already posted. We have a little bit of better insight of what's working because we utilize the app all the time. So that's it. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for coming and we will talk soon. See you later.